Well, a new attack today on the controversial Stand Your Ground law at the heart of the Treyvon Martin, George Zimmerman case. And by the way, it's not just in Florida. It's in 25 states, with more states looking at similar laws. House Democrats put forward an amendment that would slash funds for law enforcement to all of the states with the law on their books. Now, we're hearing that those lawmakers have had to back off of that effort after learning that the amendment would be blocked by House rules. However, so originally they had one amendment that they were pushing called the Treyvon Amendment, trying to pressure states to drop these laws. That they found out was going to be ruled out of order, and now we are being told that they were introducing a, quote, Stop, Shoot First Laws amendment in reaction to this. So we'll see exactly where they go with this. But joining me now to discuss it is Larry Pratt. He's the executive director of the group Gun Owners of America. Larry, welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much.
So you tell me whether, I'm going to guess that you think that this is inappropriate and that they shouldn't be doing this since you're a pro-gun guy. But look, these laws have taken a lot of heat in the wake of the Treyvon Martin shooting because people now believe that you basically have a license to kill in any states that have this law.
Well, that was precisely the term that was used when the law was being debated initially in Florida and in other states. But the experience of the law is that in its first 4 years on the books, the murder rate in Florida went down some 15%, even while justifiable homicides were increasing. So it's made Florida safer. And I guess something else should be pointed out. It's really beyond my understanding how you can say that Stand Your Ground even applied in the Treyvon Martin case, because Mr. Zimmerman, if his account is to be believed and the two eyewitnesses that corroborate his account are correct, he was on his back on the pavement having his head pounded in. He had no decision to make about whether to escape or not. He only had one possibility: can I get to my gun?
Well, but Larry, you know, with respect to the George Zimmerman case, you tell me, does the Stand Your Ground law apply if you create the circumstances under which you get attacked?
Well, okay, now that's a legitimate question. I think we can conclude from what we think we know is that he didn't create the circumstance. He saw a guy, his words now, acting strangely, maybe like casing the neighborhood in the rain, not walking deliberately to try to get out of the rain, and stopped to ask, what are you doing? Because it looked like he might be up to no good, and they'd had a lot of burglaries, and the neighbors had actually made him the neighborhood watch captain when they had set up the watch committee. So Zimmerman was doing what the neighbors wanted him to do. There had been a lot of burglaries, which is what prompted the neighbors to take the action. And the idea that somehow Zimmerman was profiling, that he was looking at Martin because he was a black guy, that doesn't stack up either. Zimmerman had been a business partner with a black guy.
No, that doesn't. But the two things are not inconsistent. It doesn't. He doesn't necessarily hate black people, but he was told that blacks had been casing some of the homes, or had been guilty or suspected of breaking into homes. Then he sees a black guy, and you say he's walking in the rain. So, and those two things: he was walking in the rain, according to you, without an apparent destination, and he was black. Now, I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying that doesn't mean he was necessarily up to no good. I'm saying, can you use that as your justification for following somebody, for creating fear in that person's heart, for making them feel unsafe in their own neighborhood, and then when they come back to you to find out why you're doing that to them, you shoot them and you can use Stand Your Ground?
You know, this is a guy who, if he's a criminal, went through the unusual behavior of calling the police as he begins to get out of the truck and follow Martin. And the police later, the second time he called, because he wasn't talking to them continuously, asked him to get the address where he was because they wanted to get to the precise location.
I get it. No, Larry, I'm not trying to condemn George Zimmerman, and I really think our viewers need to keep an open mind on whether this man is guilty of the charges brought against him. I'm saying that the attack on these laws is it cannot be that you can go, let's take Zimmerman out of it, that you can go out on the street, that you can create a circumstance under which a confrontation then ensues, and that you then, in self-defense, can use that law to get out of a trial, to get out of charges.
And the law provides for that. This is not a get-out-of-jail-free sort of situation. So I think the law was very well crafted. It is quite simply not a license to kill. It says that you can use self-defense, you can use lethal force for self-defense if you determine that your life is either in danger or at least great bodily harm might be involved.
Yeah.
That's the decision that's your word, maybe against a dead guy, true, but there were witnesses, and the witnesses
well,
will
it'll be up
often
to a
corroborate.
judge. A judge will have a hearing on this, and the judge will decide. Larry, thank you very much for being here. We'll keep watching what happens in the U.S. House.
Very good.